onto our draft. It's going to be the best players, age 25 and under. We're each going to pick 4 position players, 1 pitcher. It's going to be a snake draft, so order is Danny, me, Will. Will gets 2 picks in a row. Danny, you're up first.
Yeah, so I think the first pick, I would get ostracized if I didn't pick this player, and I'm going to go with Juan Soto. I don't really have to give a ton of reasoning besides he's probably a top 3 baseball player in baseball right now, and he's 23 years old. So that's about all I got for you guys.
Yeah, pretty obvious pick there. Juan Soto, he's like the next Ted Williams, incredible eye, the plate, incredible hitter. Probably should have an MVP by now. 2020 got robbed. Almost won it last year. Having a great year this year too. Can't really go wrong there.
That was the number 1 choice. Juan Soto, one of my favorite players in all of baseball. Would have been a fool to go any other direction. I like your description, Andrew. He's like the modern day Ted Williams. That's just how he plays. It's just good all around. His fielding was a question in the beginning of his career, but starting to not really be a question anymore. And the bat has always been there. So Danny, good job right there. Number 1 overall, Juan Soto.
Mm-hmm. All right, for a second pick, I'm going to go, it's between a couple guys. There's probably 3 options you could take here, but I'm going to go with Fernando Tatis Jr. But easily best shortstop in the league. Number 1 issue really is some people may think it's defense, but it's the health. Motorcycle accident kept him out the start of this year. Obviously dealt with the shoulder issue, labrum issues last year. But when he's on the field, he's to make another comparison, he's the next A-Rod, in my opinion. Just incredible numbers, high 9s, low 1,000 OPS, incredible athleticism. He can even play the outfield too. And he's just going to be a top 5, top 10 player for the next 10, 15 years, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like this pick, Andrew. I think it was going to go either one way or the other. I thought you were going to pick the guy that I'm about to pick. Makes my life a lot easier. I think the guy that I am going to pick is slightly better, not too much. It's between Soto, Tatis, who I'm going to say in a minute. But good pick. Tatis, I love him. Very young, exciting shortstop. I like the A-Rod comparison. Needs to stay on the field, stay off the bikes. Win an MVP, maybe 2, maybe 3. We'll just have to see how it goes. Good pick by you, though.
Yeah, I would agree. It's a good pick. I think there are 2 players that I would have picked ahead of him personally. But he's exciting player to watch. Can't really stay healthy, and a little bit of a defensive liability. I see him more as a third baseman later in his career, but I think he'd be a good pick.
I do disagree a little bit with the defense. I think he's very young. He had a lot of troubles early last year, but when you watch the kid, he has incredible range, and he's too athletic to not be at that. I think he's really young. He's gonna figure it out. I really do think he's gonna be a shortstop for a while.
Well, let's hope.
One can only hope. I think everyone on this list, well, maybe not everyone, but a very good portion of this list, they're all going to have good careers, and especially this guy right here, already off to a great start. Ronald Acuna Jr., that's who I'm going to go with at number 3. Center fielder to start, now in right field. He just came back from an ACL injury. I love the guy. He's a great outfielder. He's got a very good flair to him. He's very raw. I think he's one of the more raw guys on this list. Just very incredible bat speed. He just knows how to play the game, and he knows how to play the game the right way and play the game a fun way. Very fun to watch. Ronald Acuna at number 3 for myself.
Yeah, I love the pick. He's probably who I would have taken at number 2. Great player. He's going to be good for a long time, and as long as he can stay healthy. But fun player to watch, and he's a special talent, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'd have to. Not a bad pick. I definitely went back and forth between Acuna and Tatis. I just do think that Tatis is a little bit more talented hitter. Acuna obviously has the fielding advantage, but you can't really go wrong with that pick.
I have to agree there, Andrew. I think Tatis is the more talented hitter for sure. But the first 3 guys, these are the 3 guys we're going to be talking about for the next 15 to 20 years. Hands down. There's also another guy on this list who I am now going to go with, and that is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at number 4. We can just add to that list of guys who we are going to be talking about for some time. Guys that just know how to hit the ball and hit the cover off the ball, you could say. Vladdy started as a third baseman. Now he's at first, probably going to turn into more of a designated hitter. Maybe that glove will end up being pretty good over time. You know, get enough time over there at first base. You never know. But Vladdy is known for the stick, and he will probably always be known for the stick. I'm going to take Vladdy at number 4.
Yeah, that's obviously a great pick. I don't think you can really go any way with that 4th pick there, because Vladdy is just an incredibly talented hitter. I was up last year. Off of the number he put up were crazy. You can argue that guy's in top 3, top 4 most talented hitter in the entire league.
Yeah, I would. He would be the only other player that I would consider at number 2 outside of the 2 that were already picked. Just special at the bat. He's got good genes, obviously, with his dad. He's going to be fun to watch over the next decade. Reminds me a little bit of like a Miguel Cabrera-esque hitter, where he's going to be putting up high average, high home runs, and it's going to be good for a long time.
Like that comparison, Dan. That's a really good one.
Yeah. I think for my next pick, I'm gonna go with a pitcher here. First pitcher off the board. I'm gonna go with Logan Webb. Yeah. Sorry, Danny. Had a great season last year after like not even really barely being in the Giants rotation. Like I think he barely made his 4th, 5th starter. And after whatever it was, once he started getting 6 starts in April, he got like a 2-something ERA, 2.5, something crazy. And then obviously in the playoffs, he was probably the best pitcher in the entire playoffs. So, and he's of all the 2,500 pitchers, he's got to be the best one here.
Yeah, I love that pick. He was going next if you didn't take him there. Great player. I've seen what he can do. He's the next of the Giants' great pitchers, in my opinion. They know how to pitch in San Francisco, and they got another good one. I'm really happy with what he's done so far and where he projects to be going in the next 10-ish years.
I love the arsenal that Logan Webb goes out every single day. That slider kind of like reminds me a little bit about Corey Kluber's breaking pitch. Doesn't really put a label on it. It's not a curveball. It's not a slider. It kind of just breaks in either fashion, whether it's a curve or a slider. It just fools guys. Changeup falls off the table. He's got one of the better changeups that I've seen in the game. And then the fastball, it's a stinker. In this game, you need a fastball that's going to run. If you throw that straight fastball, it's got to be over 96, 97 to really, really get guys on their toes. If you don't throw something like that, you need to have another fastball that is going to move in different types of directions. And Logan Webb does that very efficiently. He can use those 3 pitches for as long as he wants to, and people are not going to hit him. That's how much movement that he has on that fastball and that slider, or whatever you want to call it, and the changeup. Great pitcher, really young. I agree, Danny. He's going to be one of the better Giants pitchers for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, so I think my pick next, I got the little wraparound. I think I'm going to take another pitcher off the board, and I'm going to go to my arch nemesis team, and I'm going to take Julio Urias. He's 25 years old and has been pitching since 2016. So if you're going to pick a guy that's 25 or under, he's already proven what he's capable of doing. Great stuff. A little bit of a down year, I guess you would say, for his standards. Another guy that, maybe needs to stay healthy, but great pitcher's got great stuff, and I've seen what he can do against my team.
Yeah, Julio Urias has obviously, he's been incredible this year with the Dodgers. A great season last year, showing he really came out, 2020, 2019, when he was using the playoffs as a reliever. He's got a great arsenal, great fastball, great slider, great. Definitely a pick there.
Great pitcher.
Great pitch. Yeah.
I love Urias. He was definitely I've known about him for quite some time now. He's been in the Dodgers system. He's been a guy that's been highly touted, and he's definitely maybe not definitely, but he's definitely starting to live up to those expectations that were put on him when he was a prospect, won 20 games last year. I believe he was the only pitcher to win 20 games last year in the 2021 season. Definitely a guy that the Dodgers can use in any situation. In 2020, he was used more as a relief pitcher. Last year, he came in and he showed that he can be a very good pitcher in the starting rotation. Excited to see how this young man's career unfolds, and it's gonna be fun to watch. I'm definitely excited for Mr. Urias.
Yeah. So next pick, I'm gonna go with a guy that's not having as good of a year this year as he was last year, but incredibly young. I think he's the youngest player in the big leagues, and that's Wander Franco. I love the way he plays. He's exciting to watch. Great defender, good with the bat, and he's going to be a guy that still got 20 years in him. He's only 21 years old. He's going to be around for a while, and I think he's going to be good. I think he already has an argument to be a top 5 shortstop in the game right now. I'm excited to see what he does throughout his career.
Yeah, obviously Juan Franco is a great player, but I think if we're going off best players right now, I don't know if I would have gone with Franco there. I definitely considered him, but there's definitely a couple guys on this list that I would put over him, that I would pick over this guy right now.
Franco, one of my breakout picks. I really hope he does end up turning it around this year. Not terrible, definitely not the start that I was anticipating, as he completely tore it up last year when he came right out of the gates for Tampa Bay. But this is a guy that is going to be a top 5, maybe a top 3, and dare I say it, maybe the best shortstop in all of baseball. He's going to have some tough competition with Tatis and everyone else that follows. But this is a guy I think that we're going to be talking about for quite some time as the years go by. Switch hitter, can hit to all fields. He can run, he can hit for contact, and can also hit for power. He's got a great glove, very fun talent, very good guy to watch. Good pick by you, Dan.
All right, so with my the 8th pick, my next selection, I'll be going with Jordan Alvarez. He's one of the best hitters in baseball. He's having an incredible year this year. Whenever he's been healthy, 2019 is breakout year. 2020 didn't really play at all. Last year and this year, just crazy numbers, 900, upper 900s OPS. Doesn't play the field, but he can slot into the DH position on my team.
Yeah, Jordan Alvarez. I always like this guy. He's got great power numbers. Got 12 home runs this year already. He's batting .256. He's already got 1.4 WAR. A guy 2020 didn't really. He played 2 games and then we kind of know what happened there. He's just. I had the best way to describe Jordan, in my opinion, is I would call him more of like a raw hitter. I think he's just a raw power hitter. He's kind of guy that he's got DH all over him, right? As we know, he's already not the best of fielders. So I could kind of see a little Nelson Cruz comparison just from the left side. Very pure swing, very nice stroke on the left side too. Always great to see. He's going to put up big power numbers. He always has, and he will continue to do so. Good pick, Andrew.
Yeah, great with the bat, like you guys have both said. Not much of a defender, but the money you get out of him swinging from that left side with the power, he's going to be a guy that's if you can hit, they're going to find a spot for you. So he's going to be a guy that's going to be around for a while. I like the comparison to Nelson Cruz. He's a guy that's how old is he now? 42, 43?
Yeah. Around there. Yeah, he's up there.
He's up there in age, but if you can hit, they're going to find a spot for you. And I think he's going to be a guy that's going to be around for a while.
Especially with the designated hitter in the National League now, opens up a lot of opportunities for players like Alvarez, as we've seen this year with Nelson Cruz on the National League ball team this year. And he's just doing exactly what Nelson Cruz does. So boomstick, Jordan Alvarez, the mini boomstick. We'll love to see how his career pans out. At number 9, though, I'm going to go with my pitcher here, a guy that I have been following since his college days at West Virginia, and that's Alek Manoah. Blue Jays, I'm a Yankee fan. It's kind of tough. He always shuts down the Yankees, shut down the Yankees in his first ever game. It's always tough. He's a guy that just goes out there and he just balls out. He is a dog. He's a big man as well. He's 6'6", 285. He's 5-1 this year with a 1.62 ERA. I would call that a dark horse AL Cy Young pick at the age of 24. Alek Manoah, he will be my pitcher.
Yeah, this guy, he is crazy. I can honestly see this guy being a top 10 pitcher in the future. His throw is upper 90s. His slider is one of the craziest things. You've seen the highlights on Pitching Ninja. It doesn't make any sense, his movement on the slider. But the one thing I will say is that I'm not sure why you really picked a pitcher now when we both picked pitchers, and you could have waited till the end of the draft.
I have the next pick, Andrew. So the ball is in my court. I wanted to get a pitcher off the board. I love Manoah. He was right there. I could have waited, but decided not to.
Yeah, he's a guy I'm not super familiar with, being an NL or AL East guy, and I'm an NL West guy. But the few starts that I've seen him have, great stuff. Like you mentioned, the slider is unreal.
Great stuff, power arm. He's very lively. He's a big dude, and he's energetic. He's very into the game. Love what he brings to the table. Only has 3 MLB losses as well. I found that very interesting. I found that out today, actually. And I can't wait to see what the rest of this guy's future holds. And now at number 10, I am going to go with his teammate, Bo Bichette. Had him in my top 5 for shortstops coming in to the 2022 season. Definitely a guy I can see being up there with the Wander Francos and the Fernando Tatis as we go maybe 5-6 years down the line in the top conversation at the shortstop position.
Yeah, definitely good pick there, Will. One of the best shortstops in the league, very athletic, pretty solid hitter. Will probably give you around 800, 850 OPS per year. So when you look at the guys left on this list, might be 1 or 2 guys that probably pick over him, but can't go wrong with Bo.
Yeah, I mean, Bo, he's fun to watch. Very exciting player. He fits very well in that Blue Jays lineup with Vlad, and Kevin Biggio's been struggling a little bit this year, but it makes sense. I like the pick. Great player, very fun to watch.
All right. So for my next pick, I'm gonna go with third baseman from the Atlanta Braves, Austin Riley. He was top prospect for a while. Had that big breakout season last year. One of the better hitters in baseball. Pretty solid defender there. So that's my next pick.
Austin Riley. Definitely would have picked somebody else over him at his own position, but no knock on him at all. Definitely a breakout season last year. He was showing that potential that was given to him as a top prospect, kind of like what I was saying with Julio Urias. Austin Riley showed that he was a big factor into that World Series championship team, Atlanta Braves last year. I think this is a solid pick, but like I said, I would have picked somebody else, maybe another guy over him. Austin Riley, great hitter, got a cannon for an arm over there at third base too. Another guy, really am excited to see how he pans out in Atlanta.
Yeah, I completely agree. You can't really go wrong with anyone on this list. He's fun to watch, big bat, big arm, and fits well with the Braves. He was a big reason why they won the World Series last year, so I like the pick. But now my pick, and I think I'm gonna go. I got my last 2. I think I'm gonna go with his teammate, and I'm gonna take Ozzy Albies. Great second baseman, very fun switch hitter. I like the way he plays the game. He's a scrappy kind of guy, and I think he would fit well on this team I'm building right now.
Pair him up with Wander Franco up the middle. 2 switch hitting middle infielders. I like the thought process there, Danny. I am a big Ozzy Albies guy. Always liked him. He's another guy that was just working his way up in the system with the Braves, and they finally put it all together. It was a team that they built this team around their farm system, and it all ended up coming together. Austin Riley, Ozzy Albies coming up together. I like Albies. He was an all-star last year, switch hitter, pretty good with the glove too. Love the chemistry that he has with Ronald Acuna Jr. Makes watching the Braves a lot of fun. Another guy gonna have a very good career over in Atlanta.
Yeah, I do like Ozzy Albies, obviously great second baseman, one of the better ones in the league. But yeah, great power bat. As you said, Will, great with the glove. But looking at this list, there's definitely at least two guys I would have rather had with that pick.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, last pick. I'm debating between a few guys here, but I think I'm gonna go with the young guy, and I'm gonna take Brian Hayes. Great third baseman for the Pirates. He's gonna be a big piece of this rebuild. Having a decent year, struggling a little bit with the power, but batting right around 300. Just got a new contract. He's gonna be in Pittsburgh for a while, and I think he's gonna be a very good player down the road.
Yeah, to keep Brian Hayes, really good third baseman, very very solid hitter. I don't really, if I'm being honest, I think there's at least 3 or 4 players here I'd probably take over him. So not a huge.
Fair enough.
Yeah, me too here. I would probably pick some guys over Brian Hayes, but I think he's going to have a very solid career. Could be a very good piece to build with in Pittsburgh with Brian Reynolds and other guys that are coming up through their system.
All right, so I have my last pick. So I'm gonna go with Kyle Tucker, my final pick.
Stole that from me.
Need another outfielder here. Could have went with the other third baseman, which I think you might pick with your next pick. As you're referring to, Kyle Tucker, great defender, Gold Glove defender out there, and right or left, wherever he wants to play. And then obviously one of the better outfielding hitters, as we've seen from his 2021 season, which was amazing.
I like Tucker. I think he's going to be very good. Another great left-handed bat the Houston Astros have, and they're going to have for a while. The Aaron Judge comparisons really need to calm down. He's not as good as Aaron Judge. He's just not there. But he is a very good baseball player, and he will be very good for quite some time. Kyle Tucker, I like that. That's a very good pick to have at the bottom of this draft.
Yeah, I would agree. He's having a bit of a down year this year compared to last year, but Gold Glove defender. We've seen his capability at the plate. I think he's going to be good for a long time, and he's a good pick, good value pick late in this draft.
Very good value pick indeed. Now my last pick and the last pick of this entire draft, it's down to 2 guys, and I think I'm just going to narrow it down to one right now, and that is going to be Rafael Devers, third baseman for the Boston Red Sox. I was debating on taking Luis Robert of the Chicago White Sox, but I'm going to settle with Rafael Devers, another very good, powerful left-handed stick. This one in Boston, like what he brings to the table, brings a lot of power, brings a lot of contact. Defense, I think it can be improved. It's not horrible, but it can definitely be improved. The highlight here is the offense, and I think this is a guy that you could see having multiple 35 home run year, 35 plus home run years, maybe even squeeze out a 40 home run plus home run year. We'll have to wait and see. Very good baseball player indeed. Very young, obviously, 25 and under in this draft. So Rafael Devers, he will round out our 25 and under draft.
Yeah, well, I love this pick. He was definitely the next guy that I was going to take out of all these guys. A lot of good options left here. Jazz Chisholm, Luis Robert, Alec Bohm, Trent Grisham, Eloy Jimenez. But of all the options, Rafael Devers he's pretty good. He started off a very bad defender initially when he entered the league, but he's really good defender now. Obviously, very consistent, amazing power bat. Gets on base a lot. Great pick there.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Devers. My biggest thing with skipping over Devers was I just think Brian Hayes is a better defender. And if you've ever heard me talk on anything else, I'm a big defense guy, and you can see that in kind of my picks outside of Juan Soto. But it's a great pick, great offensive player, and he's gonna stick around just because he can hit for a while.
Well, as they say, defense wins championships, and we want to see who won this draft in our Twitter thread section. We'll post it in a little bit as this episode comes up, but that's going to wrap it up. Danny, we can't thank you enough for coming on for this edition of the Free Baseball Pod. We're going to wrap up our show in just a moment, but Danny, thanks again. Any final words for the viewers?
Yeah, let's go Giants. Yeah, no, thanks for having me on. It was a blast to be on. Anytime you guys ever want me back on, I'll gladly come back. I enjoyed my time. Fun draft, and like I said, go Giants.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dan. Andrew and I are going to wrap it up here in episode 7.